What's good in the hood, YouTube? This is Crazy Samurai 71 here bringing another video. Today I'm bringing a video on Power Morphicon 2018. This is a video talking about guests for April of this year. For those that are wondering what Power Morphicon is a major convention that has more Power Rangers guests in one place than any other convention will probably have any time ever. By that I mean you're talking about over 100 plus guests. Some are from the Power Rangers series, and that could be Rangers, that could be villains, that could be voice actors, you name it. It can also be people that are connected through other means. So like there are actors from VR Troopers and other shows that also show up occasionally. But the big focus is Power Rangers. So that is very cool. If you're going, things to expect. Lots of convention panels, exclusive items from various seasons. You can buy stuff, you can meet actors, you can get autographs, you can get pictures, you can see stuff for the fall of the current season, whether it be early previews of maybe some early footage to kind of promote it. There will also be some like the reveals for the next season's cast. So if you're wanting to see what the Beast Morphers cast is in real life in person, you can get to see them before everyone else does in costume, which is very cool. And there'll be lots of amazing announcements that will be made, and just in general it's a really fun experience. If you're a Power Rangers fan, I would highly recommend going. It's in Anaheim, California from August 17th through the 19th. 12 guests were announced today, so I want to go over those with you guys because they're all really cool people. For starters, I want to mention a guest from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers that was announced, which is Karen Ashley. Now, Karen Ashley, if you're wondering who she is, she played Aisha in Power Rangers during the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from second season to third season. She shows up to a ton of conventions. In fact, the Mighty Morphin Rangers specifically show up to more conventions than any of the other Ranger seasons, pretty much. The only other season that I would say probably shows up just as much, if not more in some cases, is Power Rangers Time Force. Those are the two seasons that probably get the most actors, but Mighty Morphin definitely has the most. So that's very cool. Great to know that she's showing up, and she's shown up to Power Morphicon in the past several times. Our next guest is Barbara Goodson. Barbara Goodson, if you're wondering who she is, she played the voice of Rita Repulsa. So if you've ever heard the classic line, "Make my monster grow," that's her voice. She does the iconic voice for Rita Repulsa, so that's very important. We have the suit actress for her, so the actress that played her when she was in costume, and also we have the voice. So we have both pieces now, which is very cool. If you're wondering about the original actress that played her in Japan, that actress has long been dead now, but very, very amazing a person she was. But still, really cool. We got both of these people showing up. I have met Barbara Goodson before. I've also met Robert Axelrod, who played the voice of Lord Zed. So both are very cool people. I had an awesome picture back when I met them, and it was just a really cool experience. Our next guest is Raja Barodi, and Raja is from the Mighty Morphin Alien Ranger season. So we now have black and white confirmed. That's right. So we had, I believe it was Adam or Alan Palmer, whoever it was him, and it was also, and then we have Raja Barodi. She's the one that probably is the one that most people remember. Her and also the actor who played the Blue Ranger from the season. Those two are probably the most memorable because they had the most lines and just in general got a lot of attention. Our next actor, and just I want to say this up front, very cool actor. She's been showing up a little bit more recently, which is very good because she isn't a super common actress to show up to conventions in general, but she's showing up more often than any of the other actors from that season. Blue could happen because he has shown up before. The guy that played the Black Ranger showed up last time as well, so it is a possibility that we could get those three again. Maybe we'll get a fourth one, or maybe we'll just have these two. We'll have to wait and see. Our next guest, very, very exciting, Blake Foster. Blake Foster played Justin Stewart, the Blue Ranger in Power Rangers Turbo. So if you've watched Turbo, you remember the little kid Justin? Yeah, he's grown up now. So very cool to see him. He has gone to several conventions. He's done Power Morphicon in the past several times. Very cool guy. We now actually have almost every Ranger from Turbo and from In Space. The only Ranger actually, that's not true. We have almost every Ranger from the second half of Turbo and all of In Space, and we have 3. Actually, is it 3 of 5? It is 4 of 5. Wait, is it 4 of 5? No. Yes, it is 4 or 5. I'm sorry, I'm trying to think right now. Yes, we have 4 of 5. We're only missing 1 Ranger from the first half of Turbo, and 1 Ranger from the second half of Turbo, and 1 Ranger from In Space, and then we'd have like a complete In Space and Turbo cast, which is amazing, because the only actor we need from the first half of Turbo is Johnny Young Bosch, and the only actor that we need from the second half of Turbo and also the entirety of Power Rangers in Space is Patricia Jolie. So that's pink and green, if you're wondering, for Turbo, and also In Space it's pink. So that's very cool to remember. You never know. Johnny Young Bosch, I could see it happen. Patricia Jolie, not so likely, just because she doesn't do many conventions and she tends to avoid the whole convention scene. So if you're wondering, can that whole thing happen? Not expecting it, but we could still get an anniversary panel, even if it's just those 2 seasons. That would be very cool. So our next guest is Erin Cahill. Erin Cahill, very cool actress as well. She played the Pink Ranger in Power Rangers Time Force. She was Jen Scott. Very cool actress. Now we actually have 4 Time Force Rangers confirmed for Power Morphicon. Power Morphicon, as I said before, very often, I mean, not just Power Morphicon, but Power Rangers in general, Power Rangers Time Force specifically gets a lot of representation at conventions. So, not surprising seeing her. That actually brings our total to 4 Time Force Rangers, as I said before. What we have is red, blue, pink, and Quantum. We're still missing green and yellow. Green and yellow are the ones that did show up a lot more recently, and I'm sure that they still may be showing up this year, though I'm not as certain about Kevin Kleinberg, who played the Green Ranger, only because I believe he recently became a daddy. He became a dad recently, so I don't want to assume things, so we'll have to wait and see what does end up happening. Maybe he'll make it work, and that'd be very cool. Deborah Estelle Phillips, we'll have to wait and see if she shows up as well. And we also have the 2 villains that were already confirmed for Power Rangers Time Force. So moving down the list, we move on to actors from Ninja Storm. Yes, Ninja Storm actors. For starters, we have Katrina Brown, and she played Capri. She was one of the 2 sisters that were with the villain group from the season, and we also have Katrina Devon, who played Mara and also Cassidy. Now Mara, she was the other sister in Power Rangers Ninja Storm. So we have both sisters, and then Cassidy was the news reporter character from Power Rangers Dino Thuder. So we actually have 4 actors from Dino Thuder, because Jason David Frank, Jeff Perezio, and Kevin Duhaney, as well as Katrina Devon, which is pretty amazing. And we have 4 Ninja Storm actors, which is something I never would think you would be able to say, just because those 2 seasons just don't get a lot of representation. So the fact that we have 4 actors from both, pretty incredible. Our next actor is Matt Austin, or Matt Sadowski, depending on how you know him. Matt Austin was how he was known during the show, but obviously he got married and other things have happened since then. So Matt Sadowski, very cool actor. He played Bridge, the Green Ranger in Power Rangers SPD. Very cool person. We now have actually 4 of the SPD Rangers confirmed. Obviously, the actor that played Sam, he's a whole other thing, so you wouldn't expect necessarily him to show up. But as far as things go, like, we could still get Chris Violetta, who played the Blue Ranger Sky, and if we get him, we'll basically have enough to have like a real official anniversary panel. But we could still do something cool for SPD. I mean, there's no reason why we can't have a proper SPD panel, because we have now red, green, pink, and yellow. And we also got Greg Arnowitz, who was the guy that did who's the executive producer for the season, which he led to all the special effects and all sorts of cool props that we got from the season. So if you're into Power Rangers SPD, or if you loved it, definitely a cool person to talk to and just hear his opinions and maybe even see some props that he might bring along, because he has done that before where we'll see some props from Power Rangers SPD, whether it be the bust of Doggy or some other characters from the season. He does bring a lot of those props with him often enough. So if you're a fan of props or just in general you want to see some of that stuff, he might bring it. You never know. So our next actress is someone that I am beyond excited for, just because it's a very weird thing to see anyone from this season show up, which is Power Rangers Operation Overdrive. Operation Overdrive, for those who don't know, had an incident during, I believe it was their first Power Morphicon, where there was an incident with Samuel Benta, who played the Black Ranger for the season, and he had some thing where he stole some money. It's a whole incident. I've seen the videos online. Again, it's not clear as to whether or not that blacklisted the whole cast or not, but people kind of treated it as if the whole cast was blacklisted, even though it was really just him. As far as why the other cast doesn't show up, it's really unclear. It could just be that they're busy, because again, last time we had Dwayne Cameron, who played Tyson, the Mercury Ranger, so you never know. The fact that this time we actually got Caitlin Murphy, who played Ronnie, means that, you know, we now have the Yellow Ranger, and maybe we'll have Tyson again, so we'll have Yellow and Mercury, which is more than we would ever expect. Because again, these seasons typically don't get a lot of representation, not because they don't want to, but because the actors just aren't doing the convention scene right now, or they're just busy. They have other things going on in their lives, or maybe they just don't want to do conventions for whatever reason. You know, it's hard to say. Certain actors are like that sometimes, and you know, you just have to do what you can. But still, very cool to know we are getting someone from Operation Overdrive. So if you are a fan of Operation Overdrive, or if you're a fan of Power Rangers in general, I would highly recommend going to meet her, even if you're not a huge fan of her, because just keep in mind, she's from a season that doesn't often get represented. So actors from seasons that don't get represented, so like when I mentioned actors from Ninja Storm, where there's very few that tend to show up, or Dino Thuder, where only a couple show up usually, those are the kind of seasons where you want to get those actors that are more uncommon, because like as far as meeting them or getting the chance to get an autograph, because you're not going to because, you know, unless we see consistency, you don't want to assume anything about an actor showing up again, because one year they may show up, but next time around they may not. And then you're waiting and waiting and waiting. It could be 3-4 conventions before they show up, or maybe they never show up again. So keep it in mind, when it comes to those actors that really just don't show up, you want to take advantage of the opportunities and meet them before they never come back again, if that is the case. So always keep it in mind, because unless we have absolute certainty, which you won't know that until the next convention, take advantage of these opportunities, because these actors are not always so easily accessible. So moving on, next actor, Azim Rizik. Azim Rizik was Jake, the the Black Megaforce Ranger, and also the Green Super Megaforce Ranger. Very cool that he's showing up. Again, it's a Neo Saban season that we have now, so that's very good. The only Neo Saban era that we're missing currently is Power Rangers Samurai, which I would not be surprised if the Samurai / Super Samurai has at least one actor showing up. I don't know who it will be yet. I could see Naji, or maybe Heck David, possibly Alex Hartman. Alex Hartman, we'll have to wait and see. I don't really know who is going to show up for certain, but we'll have to wait and see. It could be Kim Crossman if it works out. You never know. So if you're a Power Rangers Samurai fan, you know, stay tuned for that stuff and more. And then our last person is not from from Power Rangers at all, and that person is David Carr. Now, if you're wondering who David Carr is, he is from VR Troopers. So we actually have 2 VR Trooper actors. He played Tyler and Darkheart in VR Troopers. Now, I really don't know VR Troopers all that well, so if he's a really cool actor, tell me, guys, because I really don't know VR Troopers all that well. It wasn't a huge thing for me personally, but I do and I am considering going back and watching it just because a lot of people have told me different things about it, and I kind of just want to see what it's all about. Just because I feel like I might have watched it like once or twice, but I really don't remember it all that well. So please remember to like, comment, subscribe. Those are our 12 guests. We got 68 guests currently confirmed. Again, the convention happens in 4 months, so we're making progress. As the convention gets closer, more and more guests will be announced at a greater rate. And just in general, expect more exciting announcements to happen in the near future. They just announced that vendors and booths will be starting to be made available for people that are going to be running these booths. So whether it be ones running a merchandise booths or something that they want to present to fans or whatever, all that's going up now. Very cool stuff. As far as when we'll hear more stuff about merchandise and all that, in due time, I would imagine probably by June we should start seeing a lot of that stuff, possibly next month. Hard to say. I would kind of really lean towards it being in June, if not later, just because they don't tend to announce that stuff super early. They tend to do most of it closer to the actual convention because they want to get people hyped, but they also want to take their time to really get things together and organize it and make their final products and everything. So please remember to like, comment, subscribe. I know this video went on for a bit, but I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you guys in the next video. So until then, guys, I am Crazy Samurai 71, and goodbye, guys.